Good day, Dr. Giselle Jane A. Amper. I am Judith E. Amara of Basdio, Gendelman, Bohol. May I have the honor, ma'am, to present to you my model paper entitled Individual and School Predictors of Teacher Stress, Coping, and Wellness During the COVID-19 Pandemic. So for the problem, first one is the general problem. The focus of the study was on teacher well-being in the context of the pandemic. So the study is only focuses on the teacher well-being during the COVID-19 pandemic. For the specific problems, this study aimed to answer the following questions. First, what were the relative and comparative levels of teacher well-being before and during the pandemic? So for question number 1, the researchers hypothesized that teachers would report significantly higher levels of stress during the pandemic than before it. So number 2, what were the levels, frequencies, proportions of online teaching, attendance, student engagement, contact with caregivers, and concern for students and families during the pandemic? So for research question number 2, it focused primarily on describing the circumstances of teaching during the pandemic. So they did not have formal hypotheses for this question. Number 3, what instructional and organizational variables predicted teacher stress and well-being during the pandemic? For research question number 3, they hypothesized that individual teacher characteristics, including their self-reported confidence in classroom management and adaptive organizational health and school climate factors, would predict positive teacher adaptation to the pandemic circumstances. For the rationale, these are the reasons why the researchers chooses to focus on the topic in question, including what the significance is and what gaps the research intends to fill. So the first one is teachers are also believed to be highly stressed in their job settings. Second, a wealth of empirical studies indicated that up to one-third of teachers are highly stressed at work. Third, it is believed that teacher stress consisted of job-related pressure, physical, psychological, and emotional manifestations. Fourth, scant previous studies had been conducted to examine how teachers' characteristics are related to the stress level. Fifth, education policymaker and school management may be able to fine-tune the schoolwork policy. And the sixth one is explore opportunities to provide socio-emotional support to teachers to sustain their well-being. For the methodology, first is the research design. So the research design of this particular study is, it is a quantitative research. A quantitative research is appropriate to serve the purpose of the study because the objectivity of the test and analysis use descriptive, correlational, and inferential statistics, measure the degree of significant relationships and differences among different components. For the site, 12 schools from the different districts in Hong Kong took part of this study. For the research respondents, there are 358 teachers, 197 of it are females, and 161 are males. So, for the ethics, it is always a part and parcel of conducting research, the consideration of the set of moral principles that guides the researcher in performing all the research activities. So the following are ethical considerations. First is the informed consent. The second one is the confidentiality pledge. And the third one is the authorization to access private information. For the data analysis, the following statistical treatments were used in this study. First, the descriptive analysis with the mean and standard deviation. These were adapted for outlining the teacher's stress level and identifying the most significant stressors of teachers. The second one is the one-way analysis of variance, or the ANOVA, were used to see 1. If female and male teachers were significantly different from each other in relation to stress level. 2. If female and male teachers were significantly different in relation to identified stressors. 3. If teachers with years of teaching experience were significantly different from one another in relation to stress level. 4. If teachers with years of teaching experience were significantly different from one another in relation to identified stressors. The third one is the t-test. The t-test was used to evaluate the differences among variables. So those are the things about my model paper, and that would be all. Thank you and God bless.